Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video, and one of the newest additions to iOS that some of you may or may not be familiar with is the TV app that has replaced the Videos app in iOS 10.2. Now the idea behind this update is to bring together all of the video services that you use into one unified interface. Now there has been one massive shortcoming that everyone has been very quick to point out, and that is the missing support for Amazon Instant Video and even Netflix. Now I'm sure Apple is well aware that this app is never going to be a true one-stop shop for most people until they get these two on board. Until then though, let's take a look around because I'm actually very much enjoying this app. Now jumping into the TV app here, you see it's broken up into 4 main pages. The first one here being Library, which is basically just like the old Videos app. Now I've seen a couple people say they just assume have the old Videos app back, and I don't really understand that because you basically have all of the functionality here plus a lot more. Now you get to see your recently purchased TV shows and movies, which by the way I haven't actually bought any of these, I've just obtained them for free over the years through various promotions. So jumping into the second tab here, Watch Now is probably the main part of this entire app, certainly with Up Next right at the top here being incredibly useful. Now what this does is basically lets you see all of the things you've added to Up Next, which are basically things you would want to watch, things you're planning on watching in the future. You can have them all in a nice list here, as well as things you are currently watching. You'll see you have a Continue tab here, where you'll have a little progress bar, as well as how many minutes and hours are remaining, and it'll even show you what app you're currently watching it in. Now if you were to tap on that right here, it would launch you into whatever app you are currently watching the show in and pick up right where you left off, even for apps that don't really support remembering where you left off, and then this will force them to put it right where you were when you last left. Now going down below here, you'll see you have probably what you were expecting out of this app, which is what to watch, suggested shows and movies, hit TV shows, hit movies. You can also browse by category and stuff of that sort. And then way at the bottom here you can see your recently watched. Now although this is quite useful to have, it's definitely not something you're going to be using quite as much, so I really appreciate that they put the Up Next tab right at the top where you're going to be using it most often. Now you do also have a widget here for the Up Next tab, which basically shows you your top 4 things. For instance, you can continue watching something, or click on one of the things you've recently added right from this convenient widget. Now it is a little glitchy at the moment, sometimes things won't show up or update properly, but hopefully that will get resolved shortly. Now the next tab here is the store, which you're probably not going to spend a whole lot of time in once you get this set up. This is basically where you'll find services that are compatible with the TV app. So you'll see things like HBO Now, Hulu, Stars, stuff like that. And you'll also see things that will let you sign in through your TV provider. So now if we hop into settings for just a second here, you'll see there's a new TV provider section. So you can basically sign in with your cable or satellite provider. You see I have DirecTV here. And that will basically let you sign in with all of these apps. So for instance, if you download the ABC app and go in and hit sign in, you won't have to enter any of your credentials. It'll just remember your single sign in and punch them all in for you. It makes it a lot easier if you're going to download a bunch of apps like I have here to work with the new TV app. By the way, in the TV app settings itself, you only have a couple of things here like playback quality, rentals and purchase quality, as well as the apps you have connected to TV, so you can toggle them off for whatever reason you don't want them here. You can also clear your play history. But anyways, you can scroll through here and see a list of all of the compatible apps that work with this application. You can also get to your new releases on iTunes, as well as buy and rent on iTunes. Now, of course, these are here because it is an iTunes app, but they're really well pushed out of the way. I'm actually quite impressed with how little they try to force iTunes into your life. Now, the fourth and final tab here is Search, and this is something I really didn't expect to be near as good as it is. It actually comes incredibly close to being able to replace something like Yahoo Video Guide for searching for things that you would want to find through all of your services. So now you do get trending TV shows and movies, which are kind of nice to have, but definitely not the main attraction here. If we type something in the search bar here, you'll see a bunch of results for movies, TV shows, and even cast and crew show up. So if we tap on one of these here, you'll see you have all sorts of information, including massive banners that look really, really nice, Rotten Tomatoes reviews. You get things like runtime down at the bottom here, as well as the year, rating, all sorts of things. You can even get to nice trailers and related movies right through here. So now right in the center here, you see you have a play button that will basically play it in whatever app it might have found that has this particular movie or TV series in. You can also tap on the side here to see other options for where you can play it, and this is also where you'll add things to Up Next. As well as if we go to a TV series here, you'll see you get a nice big list of episodes, as well as being able to select which season you want to be on. You can also add these things to Up Next, and you'll have a nice drop-down menu here to where you can open in if there are multiple options for what you would want to watch it in. Now, something I found interesting here is that you can get things to show up through Netflix in here. Now, if we click on something like this that is only in Netflix as far as the services I have, it will show up, which is really nice. Now, because this is on iTunes as well, you will be able to add it to Up Next, and you will be able to enter Netflix right through here. But if it is something that is a Netflix exclusive, for example, you won't be able to add it to Up Next, because if you tap on it in the widget or through the regular panel, it won't know where to take you because it can't take you to try to buy it on iTunes. Now, for some reason, Netflix works fine through here, but nothing from Amazon Instant Video shows up at all. Now, I know I mentioned that both are not supported, but Netflix is mildly supported in the sense that you can search for things and it will give you direct links into the app to watch them. It just doesn't work with things like Up Next near as well. Although the Amazon Instant Video app doesn't really seem to work at all with this. Now, of course, since this is an Apple product, it will sync incredibly well through iCloud, so any Apple device you have, this will show up right on, including the new Apple TV. Now, again, being an Apple service, you have tremendous integration with Siri here. Now, you've always been able to say things like, find me movies who were directed by so-and-so, or find Disney movies, or even find tickets for movies or reviews, or who won a particular award this year. Those are just general Siri movie things, but you have a whole new set here with the TV app. Now, this lets you say things like, watch the latest episode of Game of Thrones, and it'll launch right into that, or play Interstellar, and it will continue playing right where you left off. You can also say more general things like find me Disney movies, movies with George Clooney, or movies about baseball. Interestingly enough, as one of its examples, it says things like find comedies on Netflix, or show me movies for 10-year-olds, or even find free movies. So you have a lot of options for what you can ask her to do, as well as information like who starred in this, who directed this, and what am I watching if you're currently viewing something. You can also manage Up Next through here, so you can say things like what movies do I have up next, add American Horror Story up next, or remove The Walking Dead from Up Next. So as you can see, this has an awful lot of potential. When they can manage to work out a few of the bugs and add a few of the missing services, this will really be a game-changing app, if people choose to use it. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5 on my rating scale. I'm definitely a big fan of it, and I will continue to use it regularly. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing, as I really appreciate it and it really helps me out. I post new videos every single Sunday, so I'd definitely like to see you back next week. But until then,